Hi, my name is Sherry and welcome to the Grow You Girl channel. This week we're talking about one of my favorite things to do in the garden using this little tool, and we're going to be doing some deadheading. So come along with me and I'll show you what we're going to do. First off, let me tell you, there's 3 reasons why you want a deadhead. As the title for this week's video talks about, is that it's going to prolong the growth of your flowers. The second is it's actually very calming. I love to deadhead. And the third is it helps some of your flowers from seeding all over the place. And we'll talk about that as we go. But come along and let's look at what is going on. I've been holding myself back the last couple days from deadheading, so I had plenty to share with you today, and that I do. So let's start with the morning glories because they're still out. And so when you see, and if you could come over here and you'll see in our flowers, we have holes in our flowers and in our leaves because grasshoppers, I do what I can. But when I'm coming around to deadhead, like with the morning glories, I want to get these pods off because they're full of seeds. Now they're going to get seeds everywhere because morning glory just does, but this is the snipper part of it. I just want to get to the base of these and let's see if I can show you here. These are pretty fresh, so I don't know, but you can see, can you see yet? No, you can't really see the seeds yet. I'll get some drier ones. But I just want to come in here when I'm working with the morning glories. I want to snip this off here because it's just getting too long. I'm going to snip off any leaves that I feel are full of holes because of grasshoppers, and I'm just snipping away. And just knowing that you want to get to the base. Let's see if I can get to, oh look, there's a grasshopper right there. Hold on one second. I gotta find my grasshopper catcher. And all right, we're taking a quick interruption because I had to catch a couple of grasshoppers here that were chomping away as they do. And I'm going to take this, as I've shared in, I have a video on grasshoppers all on themselves. If you want to check that, I'll put a link in the video. But I just then dump them into some soapy water and onward I go. Okay, so as I was saying, so like here's the morning glories, and it's just snipping them right here to get these that have already been spent off, getting the tops off, and just you can see, ooh, they're a little milky sometimes too, but this is one right up here. Eddie, show it up there, that's getting ready to bloom, so I don't want to cut that one off. But the more I cut off of excess, or like with morning glories, it's looking at them because they will vine on to a lot of things, which is why some people don't like morning glories, but I just think they're such a beautiful flower that I love them. Now here we are at my dahlias. And here's what I will say with the dahlias is that this is my first year growing dahlias, and it has been very difficult because of the grasshoppers and the Japanese beetles. So if you come up here, Eddie, so this one you can see has already been spent, and I'm just going to cut it right there so that, because I can see a potential bud that's coming up. And the more that you cut back, the more it's going to bring fresh life to the flowers. Now, this is one that you can see is just getting ready to bud. So I don't want to snip that one. But this one, let me set these down. This one, I'm going to snip it because there's really no flower growth up here. I'm going to snip this one all the way down here. Seems radical, but it will help the health of the entire flower. So I will do that. And then most of the time, let me pick all this stuff up so I don't get seeds everywhere. I have this basket right here that I got from my dear friend Linda Votter. And it is great to just have that in the garden so you can throw it in there because again, there's seeds in these pods. So you want to be careful where they go. And again, I haven't done this for a few days. And so I'm just going to snip it back. And there just is something therapeutic. One of the things too is that every year I have used different snippers, as I like to call them. And this year these Fiskars are just, they feel good in my hand, and I got them free with another big pair of pruners. And so they've become my choice for snipping. Over here, we'll look over here next. Butterfly bush. So, gosh, here's one. Here is the butterfly flower that has been, is there a Japanese beetle in there? There freaking is. All right, well, I'll get to that later. But that's the butterfly bush. But here, oh, my cameraman just happens to have a catcher. I use the same catcher for the Japanese beetles as I do the grasshoppers. And there, the little beetle is in there. And here's what I'll say. If you have Japanese beetles, and I know some people have much more problems with them, but I feel like our problems with them have been nipped in the bud, so to speak, because we stay on them and don't let them take over, because they are incredibly destructive, lay eggs, etc. So here on the butterfly bush, I'm going to cut it right here. And this one, I'm only going to cut it right here. And same with this, cutting it back. I know I'm going kind of fast here, but, and another one just right there. And
so why did you pick it right there instead of why right there?
Because you could see, I don't know if you could see it with the camera, there's a possibility of a bud right there. And so you don't want to, you don't want to snip the buds. And you'll find with your flowers, you'll make mistakes without a doubt and go, oh no, I shouldn't have got that one. But you just will get in the groove of it with your own garden and your own flowers. Now, sunflowers. We have a lot of volunteer sunflowers in our garden this year. And we usually do on that bed, but this year in the tomato bed, we've gotten a lot. Now, I haven't snipped these the last couple of days, and I need to, because they're going to get seeds everywhere. Because I like to leave them up somewhat, because the beautiful finches, etc., that love to eat off of them. But this bed is going to be full of seeds if I don't get them off. Now, I'm not going to do it right now, because I like to wear gloves, because they have like a sap on them. But I will, when I snip it, maybe I will snip one. And there's wasps on them too. I usually like to do them early in the morning, but you can see there's a bud right there. And I'm just going to snip it right above the bud. And sometimes I will save them. I have this little sunflower catcher over here that the birds can eat from, and kind of keeps them in that area. So that's what I will do with the sunflowers, just because they are such great food for the birds. All right, so let's look at another scenario, which is this beautiful flower here, which is coming to the end of its day. And if I could have that grasshopper catcher again, that would be great. Catch me a grasshopper. Oh, he's evading me. Okay. All right, we'll just leave him for now. This is called sneezeweed, and I don't normally deadhead this like everything else. I'm gonna pretty soon, because it's fading quickly. I will just cut it back to the down to the quick, and it will be done for the year. But it's been blooming for, gosh, what, like 6 weeks now, 6 to 8 weeks. It's just a phenomenal. It was, yeah, this was the original color of it. But it's too, I've just found deadheading it over the years just doesn't make sense. And then right here, what else? Let's look at the cone flowers over here. And again, you're going to get so much more out of your cone flowers if you start to, like this one has seen better days. And I'm just going to cut it back all the way down here, and it will help it to produce more. There's a wasp right there. Be careful. And the same with all of them. So it's just cutting them back. Sometimes it's hard to do because they're so lovely. Even at this, I had a friend who she had so many coneflowers in her garden, because you think about a coneflower, all of these are seeds. And she used to just throw them into her garden bed when she cut them back. And she had coneflowers everywhere. It was quite a lovely garden that she had as well. Let's talk about the onions. I love onion flowers. Now, these guys have really been spent for a while, and I haven't done anything about it. The onions themselves are not going to be good to eat because they just get very dry and they're not good. They've become more of a flower bulb at this point. So I'm just going to cut these off right at their root. I will put more compost on the top. And then this has been about the third season for these, and I'll see if they'll come back next year. I don't know if they will or not, but we'll give it a try. Let me throw these in the bin over here. Here are marigolds. Now, I love marigolds. I love the smell of marigolds, and I love it when I'm deadheading the marigolds because they smell so good. And again, it's just that whole idea right down to the leaf line on these and getting all these, they're spent, they're done, and you'll just encourage new growth. And it's all about encouraging new growth. Let me see what else here. Let's go to the zinnias. Yes. So I have 2 beds with zinnias. These are my smaller zinnias, I guess we'll call them, that are in front of our tomatoes. And just to give a little extra color to the tomato bush, but you can see bushes. You can see here, and if you could come in here close, Eddie, that with the zinnia, I've got a bloom here, a bloom coming here. I just want to get right in there, right in that area, and cut it off. If I cut it off too much, again, I'm going to kill the coming blooms. Same with this one. And sometimes there's just nothing down there. Let's see if I can find one. But the more you do this, the more that they will come back. Now, I find with the smaller zinnias, this is the Thumbelina zinnia, and these are the Persian carpet, that they need to be deadheaded a lot more than the larger zinnias. But I still love them. They're very dear to my heart. And I feel bad because I haven't done this for a few days. All right. So I could just snip and snip. But again, it's being with your plants. It's also helping you to see if there's problems with the leaves or something's going on. You might, be having problems that you didn't realize. And it's just being in your garden. It's not something to look at from afar, that's for sure. So that is the zinnias. And again, look at this zinnia. I just love, it's just coming to life. It's so beautiful. And then taking you over this way, sadly, last year I had my daisies, which there is one lone daisy over there that's trying to hold on. I had my daisies in full bloom until October. And they have been really battling between the heat of this summer and the grasshoppers. They are battling, but I've been cutting them back as I need to. And you'll see, let me try to get out of the way here. They're starting, I may just get another season of them. Keeping my fingers crossed about that, one never knows. I think we all know with roses, well, another bloom in this season. Yes, exactly. Um, what else? Here's another example. This is, I don't even know what this is called. It's just, it has a beautiful flower on it, but you can see the seeds and it keeps coming up everywhere because these seeds, once it flowers, it gets these seeds. Roses, I have a little rose bush in here. And again, just right above the notch with the roses to get that.
And these daisies come back next year, right?
Yeah, they're perennials. These are Shasta daisies. Yep, they sure will. So, huh?
I should know that.
You should know that. Look at these. Look at these dahlias right here that the grasshoppers have not gotten. Are they gorgeous? Yeah. Oh, just love them. This is called Queen Anne's lace, and it is at the end of its season. It was much bigger during the season. But these, once they're finished blooming, you might want to come down here once they start blooming, they have beautiful white and burgundy, this particular one. But once it gets to this point, that's when you want to snip it because these are just all, again, little seeds that are just going to go. This one actually came up as a volunteer this year. Huh?
There's a lot of seeds there.
Yeah, there is. So I have to be diligent about snipping this one for sure. This is called Nicotiana, and it I have tried to keep up with it, but I can't. And this one is not blooming right now, but this it was blooming most of the summer. This one, they're both volunteers, and all these, and you'll see them on the ground here that have fallen off. I try to keep up with it, but it's difficult. It's a very abundant plant. It smells amazing, I'll tell you. Has these beautiful purple and pink flowers, but you really want to cut the stem back pretty far when you're snipping, when you're doing your snipping. And then I'm going to take you over here. And I have like 5-gallon buckets around the garden too, in addition to that basket, just so that I have some place to throw them in. But there's more marigolds over here. Lavender. Let's talk about lavender. I always thought that lavender could only bloom once a year. I'd heard it somewhere and that was the end of it. But it's another one that if you deadhead it, you're going to continue to have beautiful lavender blooms all summer. So if you come down here, this one, just doing it down to the end of the stem, is spent. It's done. It's not going to do anything. And so it's just getting them off. And I've just been delighted this summer since I learned that my lavender has continued to rebloom all summer. And that smells so good when you do it. What? Oh, my camera guy Ed is telling me there's another one to be deadheaded. Yeah, there's a lot. This one could use a lot, but we'll carry on. These are more marigolds, right? The African marigolds, which is why they're so big and tall, and I really like that. Then here is my big zinnias. And I will tell you, I thought for sure I was not going to have any zinnias this summer because between the grasshoppers, I planted my seeds. I do plant these. I direct sow them from seed, and we got them in late. I didn't think it was going to happen, but look at them. I'm just so delighted. And with the larger zinnias, they require less deadheading, but of course they do at some point. They also benefit. There's one down here that I will snip right there. They benefit from, and I need to come in and cut some, they call them cut and come because if you cut them, more is going to come. So I need to get out here and just make a bouquet. This is a really great thing to make a bouquet, but I've been so delighted that they're making it past the grasshoppers that I have kept them in here. And yeah, you can see they're just absolutely gorgeous. Thanks for sharing that. And then this is my, all right, Ed is sharing all the zinnias, which I love so much. We've got some, this is my wildflower bed. We've just put seeds over the years, and I never know what's going to come up. I've got some cosmos here, larkspur, which is another one that I thought once it, it dried up, it was it. But this year I've been cutting it back, and I've had larkspur, yeah, right there all summer for the most part, with the grasshoppers having gotten. And then this right here is calendula. And these need to get snipped down pretty far on the stem, but just pretty much to the leaves. And once it's bloomed, it just gets into this tight ball. And there you go. So that's, yeah, the calendula. I'm going to cut that off. I get pretty aggressive with the sunflowers. Back here we've got Jupiter's beard, which has really been getting decimated by the grasshoppers, unfortunately. You can see how they've been chomping on the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it back because they're struggling. And I just feel like if a flower's struggling, if you snip it back, it's going to help it to get better. What else? We've got Mexican sunflowers. And I have not been snipping this. I too fall behind, as we all do in different gardening chores, but it's just coming through. This is spent. And in this case, though, I found with the Mexican sunflower, their leaves can get really, they don't look good. I believe that if you've got leaves that look like this, they are prone to invite disease. And I don't know about you, but I don't want disease in my garden. I just don't. So these ones I will be a little bit more aggressive with, just because, and you can see, let me show you this. So this is one that's been left for much longer, and this is a fresh one. This is when the seeds start to come out, because these are all seeds that are in here, which I might not mind, but I don't want it in this bed. I definitely don't. So I will be back out here after we finish this video, clipping and snipping some more. And again, it doesn't take that long. It's just a time for you to be with your flowers. One of the things as well, why I love raised beds, and I share this in a lot of my videos, is that this is a Vigo garden bed, which I love their beds, and it just helps you to go to separate it, right? Here's this garden bed, here's that garden bed. It just separates them up, so when you're doing your tasks, such as deadheading, that I know that I need to get this bed done before, like, it's, how do I want to say this? It's like a time factor for you to know that I have time to get at least deadhead this bed. And I think that's really it for today. But again, remembering that the more that you deadhead in your garden, learn your flowers, learn where you need to be snipping, what part of it needs to be snipped. Your flowers are going to love you. They're going to produce so much more. And it's fun, and it's part of the joy of gardening. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. Please leave a comment. Let me know what flowers you love to snip the most. And I'd love to hear more from you about that. All right, until next week, take really good care.